Okay, cool. Wow, a lot of people today. Let me ask few questions because Anish, how much time will it last? I think it will be a shorter one. Yeah, because we just have the concept of oops to understand, and I think that this will be a shorter one as compared to the previous ones because हमने last live में object oriented नहीं last के अंदर हम क्या कर रहे थे? We were doing data structures and algorithm. So probably अभी तक recording आ चुकी होगी. So you guys can watch that also. So recording आ चुकी होगी वहाँ पे अभी तक तो. Let's start. Yes. Hi everyone. Quick introduction. My name is Aditya Jain. I'm from Educators, and Educators पे we have a lot of courses. Plus यहाँ पर भी we have a store. And आप अभी जैसे live ले रहे हो, so you guys are actually earning the learn tokens, and आप उन learn tokens को claim कर सकते हो to buy those courses. So that's awesome. It's a win-win condition. Please try to speak in English most of the time, please. Yeah, sure. Okay, okay, Shreyas. Okay, so just to have a nice idea, can you please write, like everyone, can you write what programming language you already know? I want to see the graph. So, what programming language you know? C and Python. Kanita. Shreyas knows C and Java. Saurav knows Java. We have some Aditya. Hi, Aditya. Aditya to Aditya. He knows Java and Python. Okay, Java. We have C and C++, Monisha, Python, Java, basic Python. Okay. Oh, C and Python again. Arun, C++ and Java, Python. C. Wow. Prem knows just C, and that is just fine. Cool. That's awesome. We have a lot of programming. We have a lot of developers who knows different programming languages. What language best to start? DSA and oops, I know Python, or to some extent should I move to Java? Okay, let's try to answer this question a bit later, Harsh, because I think थोड़ा सा background जानना जरूरी है इस question को answer करने से पहले. So just let's wait for that. Okay. I don't know why YouTube is not coming live. Should I refresh the page? Okay, no worries. Cool, guys. So very nice graph. So many people knows C, so many people knows Java, C++, Python. So ये कुछ languages हैं जो सबसे ज्यादा यहाँ पे दिख रहे हैं. Python, Java. No one does Go language. Why no one does Go language? Okay, cool. And next question will be like what actually you are doing right now. You are in college. अगर आप college में so please write your course. You are doing BTech, BCA, or whatever. Or if you are working, so mention your company. So yeah, let's see. Apurv is doing BTech, BECSE, BTech, ECE fourth year, BTech. Wow, BTech graduate not working. BCA, BEISC, March. Okay. Wow. MCA. Nice, nice. Very nice. Okay. So that means we have all those people who already have a technical sort of mindset. Nathan is doing BCA. Wow. An idea about very nice about BTech. Cool. So already you guys have this DNA of tech degree pursuing. Very nice. Very nice. That's really awesome. Okay. So now let's understand because today's topic is OOPS, which actually stands for Object Oriented Programming. तो ये Object Oriented Programming है क्या चीज? Okay, Himanshu is doing BBA. Wow. So I rarely find BBA people's doing tech courses. Very, very interesting. I would like to know. One second. Um, okay, guys. So yeah, just a quick check. I don't know what happened with the YouTube thing. Let's drop it. We will try some on some other day. Cool, guys. So see, we want to learn OOPS, which is the object-oriented programming. So this is not a programming language. This is not data structure. This is not algorithm. तो ये है क्या चीज? ये object oriented programming है क्या चीज? So let's try to answer this question. Okay, because last class में ही हमने OOPS के बारे में बात करी थी. जो people coming back from my previous lives, they already know. हम oops के बारे में बात हम data structures के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, which is not a programming language. I explained very nicely कि what are the differences. Okay, so object oriented programming is just a paradigm. Wow, a big word. What this paradigm means actually? So paradigm is nothing, just a style of writing, you know, um, or you can say approach to solve a problem. So before diving into OOPS, let me show you some slides which are exclusive from educators. I bought that just for you guys. So let me share my screen and I will take you to the slides part. Okay. So these slides explain you about programming paradigms. So we will see ये programming paradigm होता क्या है, कितने types के होते हैं, and then we will try to classify actually कि हम जो C language, because a lot of people know C language here, तो C language किस category में आता है, OOPS किस category में आता है, प्रोग्रामिंग तो आप डेटा स्ट्रक्चर के अंदर जो आप सॉरी डेटा बेसिस के अंदर जब आप कर रहे होते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल यू आर राइटिंग सेलेक्ट क्वेरी, यू आर राइटिंग स्टोर प्रोसीजर्स, तो आप उसको भी प्रोग्रामिंग कह रहे हो. तो लेट्स ट्राई टू क्लासीफाई एक्चुअली दीज थिंग्स फर्स्ट कि आप किस तरह से क्लासीफाई करोगे इसको. सो कैन यू गिव मी क्विक यस if you can see my screen. Gayatri says bro English, I know Hindi. Yeah, probably it will be a blend of English and Hindi. Okay, you don't know Hindi. Yeah, I will try to keep with the English. Yes, hi Avinash. Cool guys, thanks for confirming. So yeah, cool. Let's jump to the next thing. इस slide में topics बहुत कम है. It's just what is programming paradigm and types of programming paradigm. Generally, we have 5-6 topics, but it's just a definition, so we have just 2 things to cover. So programming paradigm होता क्या है? It's a way to classify programming language based on their feature. तो प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज जिन फीचर्स को आपको यू नो देती है, लाइक ऑफर करती है. फॉर एग्जांपल सी लैंग्वेज आपको क्या ऑफर करती है? इट गिव्स यू द एक्सेस टू द एड्रेस. आप एड्रेसेस को बहुत इजीली एक्सेस कर सकते हो. वट एवर द फीचर, क्वाइट देयर आर सम क्वाइट हुक्स हर एक प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज का. आपने भी ये चीज सुनी होगी ऑलरेडी कि पाइथन कर लो, पाइथन इज सो इजी. So that's a hook of Python programming language. It's very easy to learn, right? So हर language का अपना एक nice hook रहता है. So basically पर हम इस तरह से classify नहीं कर सकते. We need some actual classification. So right. So हम features के basis पे उसको classify करते हैं. Secondly, we have languages can be classified into multiple paradigms. जो आपकी languages हैं वो क्लासीफाई कर सकते हो आप अलग अलग मल्टीपल पैराडिगम्स के अंदर. सो ऐसा नहीं है कि एक प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज को आप सिर्फ एक ही जगह पर फिट करोगे. ऐसा हो सकता है कि एक प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज मल्टीपल पैराडिगम्स में फिट हो जाए. या इट्स क्वाइट पॉसिबल. नेक्स्ट, मेथड टू सॉल्व सम प्रॉब्लम. कोई अगर आपको सेट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम गिवन है तो वो लैंग्वेज से आप कैसे उसको सॉल्व कर सकते हो, उस पर भी ये चीज़ डिपेंड करती है, राइट. एंड फाइनली we actually make use of some programming language. So yeah, that's your programming paradigm. So programming paradigm क्या होता है? If you find the abstract of this slide, it's a way to classify the programming language. Okay, or you can say the approach for programming language. What approach a programming language took to solve a problem. All right. So we have two types of programming paradigms. So probably हमारा जो काम है वो first वाले में चल जाएगा, but फिर भी हम थोड़ा सा we will try to spend some time with the second part also, which is the declarative programming paradigm. So first part is imperative programming paradigm, and second is declarative programming paradigm. Okay. So the first type of this programming paradigm is imperative. So imperative के अंदर क्या होता है? Your programmer, like programmer की responsibility होने वाली है. Okay, I will try to keep in English. Okay, it's my adat to use the blend. Cool. So programmer instruct the machine how to change its state. So you already know when we do any programming, so we have some state variables, right, which stores the value of something. For example, you have a very simple state variable, for example, int x. That can also be some state variable, right? So programmers की responsibility होती है to change its state or verify whatever they want to do with that state variable. Secondly, it based on von Neumann architecture. So anyone here knows about computer organization, CO? I think कोई एक there must be a course in your BTech जहाँ पर they told you about CO, computer organization. COA, some say COA, computer organization and architecture. So वहाँ पे they explain you about von Neumann architecture, right? So the first paradigm, which is imperative, also follows the same. Examples. What are the examples of this? Your procedural programming language or procedural programming paradigm, and secondly, object oriented programming. Yes, I do a long halt here because that's the topic of today's class. And bingo, you find out the classification. Your object oriented programming lies exactly where. Okay, so in programming paradigm we have two things, imperative and declarative. So your object oriented programming lies under imperative, which means you as a programmer is responsible to change the states, to change the values or behavior. All right, so that's your object oriented programming classification. So next is declarative, and let's have a small introduction with this one. We use declarative in languages like your database. When you write some sort of query, when you write stored procedure, right, where you are not giving the actual values, you are just creating a sort of template. If this thing happens or if this thing occur, do this thing. Okay, so we mentioned there, these are the queries. If something came in, you have to do this and then you have to give the output. So that's your declarative, when you declare the actual structure. Okay, and that's it. That's it in these slides. So let's come back to this one because our object oriented programming lies here. And आज का जो session है, it is yeah. Okay, I'm audible, I think. It's okay. Can you give me a quick check? I'm audible, loud and clear. Wow, cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, now I know I'm audible. All right, guys. So secondly, now let's talk about object-oriented programming. First of all, let's try to break this word object, then oriented, and then programming. Okay, so what is this object thing? Object, what is this object? So our object is nothing but an instance of a class. Yes, now I'm using some jargons, programming jargons here. Don't worry. Object is nothing but a instance of a class. Instance क्या होता है? Your class. Let me give you a very nice tip. अगर if you don't know till now, class को कभी भी memory address assign नहीं होता है. If you create a class and it's just sitting there, it will not take any memory. Okay, in your runtime. Why? Because क्लास को हम कैसे कोई कोई मेमोरी असाइन कर सकते हैं? क्लास इज जस्ट अ ब्लूप्रिंट, right? We can't use blueprint to like as a house. We need a structure, we need something physically. Okay, so in programming terms we have objects. Okay, so objects are nothing. Yes, class has no action. Cool. So let's suppose if I took one of my favorite languages, which is C++. C++, if you define a class there, right? A lot of people already know C++ here, that which is a very good thing. And someone asked me what language is. Yeah, some asked me. I think Harsh asked this question: what language to start with the object-oriented programming? So I suggest C++. Why C++? First, it's so fast. Yeah, we all love speed. Speed gives us thrill, not on a motorcycle. Yeah, we love speed on our execution, right? Program execute हो जाना चाहिए time पे. Class is a set of objects? No, no, no. Class is not a set of objects. Class is just a blueprint. Yes, thanks, Jay. Class is the blueprint, right? So what I mean with this blueprint, again, I'm taking example from my C++. If you declare a class in C++, you will define something, or I can say you will declare some attributes and some methods. Just to keep it simple, some variables and functions. Okay, so attributes are nothing but variables which are inside class, and methods are nothing but functions which are inside your class. Cool. All right, so we have class, जिसके अंदर we have this attribute and we have method, right? But they don't have any memory address. So we create or we declare the object, right? And everything is assigned to it. So now your object can access the class members, the functions, your variables, whatever they want. But make sure the visibility modes. Okay, so इस explanation में visibility modes को थोड़ा सा ignore कर रहे थे, but make sure your visibility modes are correct, right? Your objects can only access whatever you write in a public section. Okay, so yeah, keep that thing in mind. Can anyone write quickly how many visibility modes we have? Let's see how many visibility modes we have. 3. Okay, cool. Let's continue. How can anyone name them? Very nice. Yeah, Piyush did a typo. Probably you're typing so fast. Yay. Wow. You guys already know about these visibility modes. That's so cool. It's actually very good thing. Yeah, Harsh, we have default in Java. That will be 4 now. But in C++, we have um, 3: public, private, and protected. Okay, so why we have this thing? Why we have private? Why we have protected? When in C everything was in public, right? There is no concept of you know, data restriction. C के अंदर ऐसा कोई concept नहीं था. Yeah, cool. And someone from some friend from creator just will drop a WhatsApp group link. You can join that group. Okay, so उस group के अंदर I will be there. My friends from creator will be there, and a lot of community. Here we build a community and we try to help each other at any point. Okay, so we have this WhatsApp group. You can follow us on, like, follow me on GitHub. You can check my repositories. I have 25 plus repositories there. Quite helpful. A lot of dynamic things you will see, like in any programming language. Yeah, yeah, definitely. If you're just starting with the career, you can join this group and ask question. Link. One second. If Tarun, if possible, can you drop the link? How to start Spring? Spring, the season Spring or the framework Spring? Because it's around the corner. अक्टूबर आने वाला है. Frame. Yeah, I think before starting Spring, you should be good at Java. I don't use Spring framework that much, so this clubs helps for Java students. Yeah, it's for everyone who wants to learn object-oriented programming. Okay, cool. Give me a second. I will share the group link. I need to open the WhatsApp web. I don't know if you guys have noticed this thing or not. WhatsApp web took a lot of time. Well, it was so fast, but now it's so uh, slow. Uh, Coders 10. Invite. Copy link. And here it is. Cool. You guys have 2 minutes. Join this one. Can we do it at that? I'm dying to see more. Yeah. Already done. Wow. Awesome. Cool. Very nice. You guys are so fast. Great. Done. Done. Yay. Come back. Everyone come back. Yes. Yes. Cool. 2 minutes are up. That's it. Do we have a Telegram community? Um, yes, yes. Just keep the link with you. You can copy to your clipboard, and then later on you can go to your Chrome browser, just paste this link, and you will be here. All right. Okay. So now let's talk about object-oriented programming more. So as we started object-oriented programming, we have a hero in this movie. Okay, if object-oriented programming is a movie, our hero is object. So everything will revolves around our hero, which is the object. Okay, and ये hero को blueprint यानी कि structure, who will give the structure to our hero? Those are the classes. Okay, so classes are the godfather. Just kidding. Okay, classes are the blueprint and your objects are the instances of those classes. So anything which is in public part of your class or anything which is public can be accessible by the objects. Okay. Now let's answer another question. Is object-oriented programming is a programming language or is it a data structure? So it's none of them. Object-oriented programming is a paradigm. You have already seen here. It's a paradigm. Okay, so paradigm क्या था? It is the style, how you deal with the problem. Okay, why we actually need object oriented programming? We need object oriented programming to represent the real world entities into our programming. Okay, in our softwares, if we want to represent a real entity, for example humans, we all are humans. So if we want to represent humans in our software, C language really don't give that sort of thing, right? We don't have anything in C language that can represent human. We have a thing which is known as structure. You can do a few things with structure, but not a lot of things are missing from there. And especially one of the thing which is security. And I missed this thing, but earlier a lot of people mentioned this thing. We have public, protected, private, private and protected basically for the security purposes. So actually security purpose ko ya fir we want to restrict our users or developers, basically junior developers, let's say. Okay, we want to restrict the access, right? There might be some critical part, critical thing, information in your class, and we really don't want to share that. Sometimes we really don't want to share that even with the child class. That's why we keep things in private. If you have something known as private, that attribute or method can't be shared with anyone, right? You can't share the private members with anyone, not with the child class also. Okay, but if you talk about C++, there is a backdoor. If you have something known as friend, uh, do anyone know this thing which is friend in C++? Friend function. Yeah, we have friend function. We have even friend class. Yeah. So I see it's a 50-50 ratio. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So friend function, not a member, then class it can. Yes. Yes. So friend function basically introduce, मतलब friend introduce इसलिए हुआ था because we want to give access to the private members, which is a very dangerous thing to do. But if we want to give access of our private members to someone outside, okay, probably object of some other class or anyone from the global scope, right? So if you have something known as friend function, right? So friend function can access your private members. That sounds really dangerous. Okay, and there is something known as pure object oriented programming language and just object oriented programming language. So let's understand this thing also. Your object oriented programming languages are those programming languages that supports class objects, basically classes and objects. Yep. Thanks for the recommendation, um, Sarfaraz. Okay, so I was saying any programming language that supports your objects and class is the object oriented programming language. But we have something known as pure object oriented programming language. So what is this actually? So in pure object oriented programming language, there will be no concept outside the rules of OOPS. Okay, so we have some sort of rules in OOPS. If a programming language is implementing all of them, then it's a only all of them. Okay, not anything else, not khud se nothing, only those OOPS rules, then only it will be known as pure object oriented programming language. So your Java is the pure object oriented programming language. All right, so C++ is not the pure object oriented programming language. So the very first reason why C++ is not the pure object oriented programming language, because actually C++ is the extension to C programming language, right? C is the procedural one. right? C follows procedure programming paradigm. C have a lot of functions. So when whatever we want to do in C, the maximum we can do, we can write a function, we can access structure, and that's it. Okay, and then C++ came into the place, into the whole scene. Actually, it changes the vision how we look to a programming language. So C++ came with a very strict rules. Okay, so for example, there are a lot of things in C which are just lenient. Like typecasting is one of them. Typecasting is a thing which is very bad in C language, right? But C++ is very strict with the typecasting. If you're using some sort of data type, you must use that only. So yeah. So C++ is just a extension to your C programming language. Okay. And yeah, what it brings in the object, classes, all the principles, all the methods, and along with something known as friend. I don't know why they created this thing, but yeah, they have something known as friend. Let me give you four principles of um, object-oriented programming. Even before that, let me give you four building blocks. So we can count on our fingers. Four building blocks of object-oriented programming. The first building block is your class. Without class, we can't have objects. Without object, we can't say it's a object-oriented programming language. So out of four building blocks, the first one is your class. Second one definitely is your object. Okay, so class and objects are the building blocks. Give me a second. What happened here? Cool. Okay, we did two. The first one is your class. Second is the object. The third one is your attributes. Attributes are nothing but the properties. Okay, so for example, if we have some instance of a dog class, okay, so breed is a property, color is the property, tail shape is the property, right? So all these properties are actually known as attributes. Cool. So attributes are nothing but your properties. Fourth one is the methods. Methods, or we can say functions inside any class. Okay, so functions inside any class is the method. So methods represent verbs. So for example, again, let's go back to the dog class example. So what dogs performs, like what verbs a dog do? He barks, he eats, he runs, right? A lot of things a dog do in a day, right? So yeah, so all these could be the methods. So these are the four building blocks of object-oriented programming. So first you have to define a class, then we need something known as object. Inside class, we write attributes and we write methods. Yeah, I think I'm not working on screen presentation right now. It's just there. Don't worry. Let's focus on me today. Cool. Now, right, yeah, cool. Now let's talk about four principles. Four principles of OOPS or object-oriented programming. What are those? So the very first principle is the encapsulation. Okay. The very first principle is the encapsulation. It will be helpful if you note it down somewhere for your reference. So out of four principles, the first principle is the encapsulation. Encapsulation, what encapsulation means? Actually, your class performs the encapsulation part. It's a wrapper on the attributes and methods. So it's wrap all those things inside one single umbrella or one single capsule. That's why we call it encapsulation. Exactly. So wrapping up all the data into one single unit. That's the very awesome thing classes do. Okay, but in structures, we don't have that. So that's why uh, uh, C++ classes represents actual things, actual real world things. The second principle is the abstraction, and there is a confusion between what is abstraction and what is encapsulation. So let me also lighten up that. So abstraction is hiding the implementation part. Okay, always remember, abstraction means you're hiding the implementation part. How this thing is implemented is hidden, okay, or it's behind. Cool. But how what we are going to use is available for you. All right. So there is a code. Okay, we have to find that. Let's leave for now. There is a code something which says abstractions answer what to do, not how to do. All right. So abstractions only gives you what to do. It will never tell you how we are actually doing this. Just for an example, if there is a class known as voter class, okay, we are tracking the voters. We all know in India or anywhere probably, if you are 18 or 18 plus, then only you can vote. So we can have a class that takes your age and decides you're eligible to give vote or not. Okay, so that method can be hidden from the user. That can be put inside a private. So we put is eligible sort of function in a private part, and in constructor we can call that. And yeah, bingo. If we can have a very simple if check. If the age is less than 18, then you are not eligible. It will be N, and for no. And if your age is above, then we can have you are eligible. We will say why. Showing main function and hiding the unnecessary detail. Not not unnecessary. Those are actually very necessary, but those are critical, or we can say sensitive. Okay, so better words will be sensitive. The information is sensitive. Okay, so your encapsulation actually hides the data. Abstraction hides the implementation. So there is a difference. Never be confused between encapsulation or abstraction. Abstraction hide the data, hide entire data. You will have no idea what variables are being used behind the scene, right? But in abstraction, you know the method. What's the method name? How we call that method? How many arguments or parameter we need to pass? So we know these things. I hope अगर आपने data structures करा होगा, so you have created something known as ADTs, abstract data types. There also we are doing the same sort of thing. We actually call those ADT functions from our main with code. Yeah, actually code we have decided कि हम code वाला इसके next part 2 में करेंगे. There will be a lot of coding sort of thing. So yeah, is it fine? Part 2 will be today. No, part 2 will be I think we have scheduled somewhere in September. So there we will do a lot of hands-on. So in today's class, I'm just telling you how object-oriented programming works, and in that class, I will show you the coding part. Then can you go about it again in caps and abstract? Yeah, sure. Encapsulation, what encapsulation do? It wraps everything in one single umbrella, or you can say wraps everything inside one single, capsule. Okay. Plus, if you make your members private, that will be hidden, and that will actually increase the encapsulation purpose. So encapsulations actually hide things from the outside world. That's what abstraction do. Oh, sorry, encapsulation do. And abstractions It hides the implementation part only. It will show you, okay, this is the method, this is how you call, this is how these are the parameters we need. So all those things we will do, but we don't know how actually it's implemented behind the scene. Okay, it's just like a calculator calling. So if you do 4 plus 5, it will show you 4 plus 5 is 9, but how the calculator is working, we really don't know, right? Or you can take examples of example of a car acceleration, right? We know if you push the lever, then your car will start accelerating. But how pushing the lever makes your car moving, we really uh, don't have the correct idea. Cool. So that's your encapsulation versus abstraction. Very famous questions. So many people ask this thing. Yeah, the slide is same. Slide is same. Yeah. How to use those arguments in the method and is hidden, right? How to use those arguments. So there will be some sort of documentation that will be given to you. So if you want to call this function, for example, um, in our APIs, what we do, we have a documentation. This is the function name. This is the parameters, and these are the types of parameter we need. Okay, what we don't know, how this function is implemented actually. What is the code of this function, right? So we know the number of parameter, types of parameter, function name, return type. That's it. That's all we know in APIs, right? We just call them and get the answer. But how it's doing behind the scene, we don't have the idea. Okay, cool. Wow, nice emoji usage. All right, guys. So now let's talk about last two principles, because बहुत सारी theory हो जाएगी, it will be so boring. I, I really don't take that much theory एक साथ, but just for a nice segmentation, okay, we will do theory today and then practical. That's why we are doing this. Okay, but I love to do practical. I really hate theory. When it comes to theory, it's like, oh, why we are doing this. So these topics, we will try to do these things in live. There will be lives on so many topics. So yeah, but if you want to have a proper structured course, like if you want to complete everything in one go, so that's for that you can buy the that course thing that I told you in the beginning of the class. Okay, and I will tell you what is the actual course and how it actually looks like. What are all those topics you actually need to do if you start your object-oriented programming in um, with C++. We have both options: object-oriented programming in C++, object-oriented programming in Java. So, and also in Python. Okay, but I really suggest for a start, go with C++. Okay, so now let's talk about last two principles, which is the inheritance and polymorphism. Inheritance is a you know um, great biological word. We already know what inheritance is. We ourselves got inherited from our parents, and our parents from our grandparents, and grandparents from great grandparents. So it's a hierarchy, right? We got our genes, DNA, or everything inherited, right? Same sort of inheritance we follow in your object oriented programming. And this approach is nothing but to promote DRY. What is this DRY? It's a dry approach. Okay, it's a DRY, dry. What is this dry? Don't repeat yourself. Okay, dry says don't repeat yourself. A nice one. Okay, so DRY. Don't repeat yourself. I'm repeating myself a lot. Yes, yeah, I know slides are not changing. Slide is just same. A lot of thing I have to show, but I will show you in the next session on this the same. Oops. Okay, slides are is same. So don't worry if slides are not changing at your side, because I'm the one who's not changing it. Okay, cool. So inheritance, what inheritance do? We have a lot of inheritance, different types of inheritance we have in C++, or some programming language, some don't supports all of them, right? But in C++, we have all the inheritance available. So single, multiple, multi-level, hierarchical. So hybrid. So we have a lot of inheritance there. But moreover, what inheritance actually mean? We want to use those properties we talked about earlier, attributes and methods. All those things we want to access in some other class also. Okay, which may or may not be very related, but still we want to access those functions. Yeah. Thanks for dropping the WhatsApp link. So guys, we again have the WhatsApp link, so you can copy it and paste. And, you can copy to your clipboard and then paste to your Chrome, and you will get joined with the group. All right, slides in WhatsApp group. Probably no. These slides are exclusive, and probably we are not sharing slides in the group, but you will get the access if you go to the exclusive things. Yeah, how we can get any PDF regarding? Let me give you a nice structure. What actually is required to learn OOPS, all those things. Let me show you that. We can simply go to your Google and say educators.in or just educators. You will find this page. Okay, I have to share the next screen. So for that, I will say screen share, and here it is. Cool. So this is our site. It has a lot of Suruchi probably uh, not. Okay, so everyone is saying for PPT, this is the exceptional thing. I will drop this PPT in your WhatsApp group. How about that? Cool. Yeah. No. So this is a site. Actually, you can scroll up and find out. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. C++ object-oriented programming, and this is the actual structure you should follow to learn your C++. Okay, so this is the curriculum more or less. Um, yeah, okay, definitely. Cool. So this will be a nice structure. You can follow the structure to learn C++, or you can enroll with us and we will schedule all those classes for you. That schedule is strict, and we cover a lot of things in the course actually also. So first stage, we have 5 stages total. So in first stage, I give you the elementary knowledge, because we are doing in C++. It will be good if you know that already. Otherwise, we will be giving you the important part of C++, the syntax part, um, all those things. Okay, if C++ is your very first programming language, so you have to do one more thing, which is the primer to learn the C++ or any programming language. If you're starting OOPS as the first programming language, you should know something before. Okay, some syntax, data types, all these things you should know. Okay, so we have to add that also. But if you know any programming language, let's say C, so you can jump to C++. It's very easy. Or if you know Python, so don't worry, do object-oriented programming in Python. So we have that also. C sharp. Um, no, actually, not probably not from my side on C sharp. Any section on React Native? Okay. Um, let's see. Let's see. Interesting. And then because we this Joe, like the current course I'm showing you is the C++ course. That's why I'm writing a lot of C++ references here. But again, if you want to learn in Java and Python, we have that options also. Okay, so yeah, so these are the C++ things which you should know before diving into the real object oriented part. So in the object oriented part, you will learn all those things that I discussed just right now, all the access modifiers, member functions, all the things. Okay, classes, objects, attributes, methods, encapsulation, abstraction, your inheritance, polymorphism, friend, class, function, everything is there. So this part is very important. And the good thing is, to know object-oriented programming, you don't actually need a lot of time. Okay, um, if you have everything there, like if you have the access of something known as curriculum, right? If you have everything, तो learn करने में time नहीं लगेगा. Otherwise, you will keep on searching on internet कि मिल जाए कुछ तो. Okay, that's why some importance came in with the course. Then there will be some advanced part, which is the DMA, how you do dynamic memory allocation, because that will be helpful when you are declaring some object in the runtime. Yes, we can do that also. We can have objects in runtime and templates. So C++ have very beautiful thing, which is known as STL, right? Do anybody know about STL, Standard Template Library? Come on, it's very famous. Yes, no? In the chat. Wow, that's a great surprise. Okay, cool. And so basically, the STL is came up after this template thing. So if you know the template, then you can easily understand that STL part. Yeah, collection of C++ templates, right? So वो जो template है, that you will understand here. And then there will be some sort of project. So we will do that project. Okay. So set of classes to provide common programming data structures and functions. Exactly, Ria. So STL is the collection of all these things. For example, you have pair, you have set, you have vector, a lot of data structures there, which is already implemented for us. Okay, we just need to import them, use them, and rock. All right, so I think we have discussed all the things. Yeah, programming paradigm and all. So polymorphism is the last thing which is left. So let me tell you about that very quickly. Polymorphism actually means more than one form. So if you have something more than one form, that's polymorphism. Okay, for example, a function with the same name, two functions with the same name but different parameters. This is known as function overloading. If you're doing this thing with the class function, then it is known as method overloading. If you're doing the same thing with constructor, then it is known as constructor overloading. Okay, so yeah, basically overloading. So polymorphism is divided into two parts: the overloading part and overriding part. Okay, overriding is very important. Many people miss that. Okay, so in polymorphism we have two things. The first is overloading and second is overriding. All right, so overriding, yeah, cool. So overloading means we are actually we have Same function or same thing with different forms. That's your overloading. Okay, and in overriding again we have different form, but that is happening in the runtime. That's the difference. Overloading happens in compile time, overriding happens in runtime. Cool. So that's the polymorphism. So I have touched all the topics just to have a glimpse key what actually we have in this thing object oriented programming. So I hope I clear a lot of things today. क्या होता है object oriented programming, what are the insights, what do you actually need to learn when you are learning object oriented programming.